If you have been sleeping under a rock for the past few years, then the world of virtual reality just may have eluded you. But is it really worth all the hype? Well, let's find out. Since the arrival of the Meta Quest headset back in 2019, this has allowed everyone an affordable entrance into the world of VR. Although you do still look a tad goofy when using it, the overall experience is not to be ridiculed. Fast forward to the present day and there is now a growing range of headsets available to the mass market. However, in this quick review, we'll be concentrating on the Meta Quest 2. Now in the box you get a Meta Quest 2 headset, a glasses spacer, one silicone cover, a 1 meter USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and 2 touch controllers with batteries supplied. Taking a closer look at the quality of the Quest headset and controllers, they truly are from a world of premium quality. The headset itself is small and fairly lightweight, and this excellence carries on into the controllers. Although they do look like something from another world compared to the gamepad some of us are used to, the Quest 2 controllers are not only comfortable but also easy to get to grips with. No pun intended. Delving into the specs, well, the pre-mentioned Meta Quest 2, originally called the Oculus Quest 2, does pack quite a powerful punch and is still one of the best VR headsets available, whether you are an experienced gamer or someone like me who has been vacant from the world of gaming for some considerable time. Running the show is a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chipset with 6GB of RAM, linking up with a single LCD panel to provide 1832 by 1920 pixel resolution per eye, at a refresh rate between 60 and 120Hz depending on which game or video you are viewing. In basic terms, for a standalone headset with no awkward cables connecting to an even more expensive PC, it's very impressive. On the front of what looks almost like a pair of scuba divers goggles, you will see 4 cameras that allow for not only tracking your positioning, but also that of your controllers. However, the neat thing that 2 of these cameras also provide is a real-time view of your surroundings. Albeit only in grayscale, this is how you can not only see where you are, but also create a safe zone for you to play in, thus reducing the chances of knocking off that priceless picture from your wall, or destroying your living room entirely. There is also 2 built-in directional stereo speakers, which although aren't noise cancelling, they do the job pretty well. Plus, if you are one for multiplayer games, then you'll be glad to know there's even a microphone built in for easy communication. Surely, however, all this needs a power supply, and yes, you guessed right. But luckily, from a single 2.5 hour charge with the provided cable, you should receive up to a reasonable 3 hours of game time, and the controllers take a simple AA battery apiece. One of my favourite features, however, that the Oculus provides is that even one-player games don't have to be a lonely experience, thanks to the ability to cast to a nearby TV or smart device. So if you are sitting with family and friends, they can enjoy your VR experience by your side, or you can use the feature to keep an eye on what the younger players are up to. But now let's dive straight into the hardware. Setting up is quick and painless as it is all self-contained, and you can be in a world of VR in just a couple of minutes. After a few safety clips, you begin to set up your Guardian, which in layman's terms allows you to create your pre-mentioned safe zone, and then you will be introduced to your personal and customizable Meta home screen. Don't worry, by this point you will have been shown just what you can expect in your VR haven, and if you are new to this, it's quite literally breathtaking. Pick up the blocks, whack them with a ping pong bat, or even dance with your new friend. It's honestly a monumental moment in your gaming life that you will remember, even though this is just a quick glimpse into what the Quest 2 has on offer. Via the home screen here you can access games, settings, apps, you name it. Basically, this is your one-stop virtual living room. If you want to watch YouTube on a huge IMAX-like screen, then you can do that. Want to take a tour around the International Space Station? Then you can do that. Even if you fancy a face-off with some flesh-eating zombies in Resident Evil 4, then yes, you can do that too. But please note the latter does require purchase. Concentrating on what the headset will be mostly used for, in this case gaming, you'll be happy to hear there is a huge library of games to choose from. You have hits such as Beat Saber, Super Hot VR and The Climb. Or if you fancy something of the sporting genre, then you can play darts, go bowling, or how do you fancy your hand at snowboarding? Yes, as you can see, pretty much everything you can imagine in the real world, someone somewhere has probably made a VR experience of it. Even if exploring is more your type of thing, then once more there is a vast collection of simple yet mesmerising experiences. The graphics of course are not lifelike and tend to be more of the arcade or cartoonish scenario. However, don't let that put you off, because once inside the world of VR gaming, you will truly believe that you are really there. A great tip to know as well is that even if you can't find what you're looking for via the game store, then there is a little something called Side Quest that allows you to get a hands-on experience of experimental VR content. Gaming though on the Quest headset is beyond doubt something you won't really comprehend until you try it yourself. The jump scares are terrifying, the action is heart-pounding and the scenery can be breathtaking. Plus, with virtual reality becoming more and more advanced by the day, in addition with the huge amount of investment that is being poured into the so-called metaverse, you can expect content to become more and more advanced as well as realistic in the not too distant future. So it's fairly light, pretty affordable and can quite literally thrust you into another world. But is it all too good to be true? Well, as expected, it is. A big problem with the world of VR is motion sickness, and I couldn't really imagine it myself until it smacked me right in the stomach. And the only thing presently to do in this scenario is to give yourself a rest, because believe me, it only gets worse if you carry on trying to ignore it. Many games do offer comfort settings to keep your stomach on an even level, and Meta have been nice about it and made the 120Hz refresh rate a standard instead of experimental feature, which not only makes content more realistic and fluid, but can also help to reduce that motion sickness within you. Don't be too alarmed, as motion sickness isn't entirely through the reality that is virtual, but it is still a bug that needs solving across all VR platforms. Another issue I find is that the games and experiences themselves, which the majority of are fantastic, are not always the longest. But even if you do find one that will keep you enthralled for many hours, by that point the headset can become slightly uncomfortable due to the bulk of its weight being located mainly at the front. And finally, because this is a standalone headset, you are limited in terms of mobile hardware, which is why the graphics are nothing like that compared to a PC required VR headset. So is the Meta Quest 2 going to be your new favourite toy? Well, I would expect so. Apart from looking slightly peculiar swiping the air with what looks like a chunky blindfold on, the overall experience that the VR world offers you is astonishingly impressive. It's not the gameplay or content available that sucks you into the world of virtual reality, but the actual experience itself. Whilst you are in the living room, you can be challenging a friend from around the world to a game of baseball, but on the actual pitch. Or you can just simply turn off your TV and immerse yourself in your own cinema with a whopping size screen to watch your favourite film or TV programme on, all whilst interacting with a friend or family member on the other side of the globe. Overall, for this quick review, I do think the Quest 2 is worth it. Even though there are other VR headsets available, this by far offers the best in terms of value for money. Meta offer you great hardware, optional PC link up to increase the already vast library of games available via Steam, plus if you really get into it, there are quite a lot of additional accessories to help make your virtual world a more comfortable and immersive one, such as headphones and battery packs to name but a few. If you don't want to join Facebook, then of course you can take a look at the Pico 4 headset, which is slightly cheaper and does have somewhat better hardware, including 8GB of RAM, a slightly wider field of view, plus it uses pancake lenses which provide a higher resolution than that of the Meta Quest 2. What the Quest 2 headsets though have in its favour at the moment is a larger library of games, a smoother and slicker build quality, plus an all-important headphone jack input. And for those reasons alone, when it came to a choice between Pico and the Quest, I decided to join the metaverse. So that is my quick review for the Meta Quest 2 headset, but do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you have one, or are you planning on buying one? Or maybe you are considering the Pico 4 headset. And don't forget to drop a like and do show your support to the channel by subscribing. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you at some point. very soon. Thank you.